Anybody here who plays an instrument in a band? Some? Cool. Which instrument? Thomas?
Bass guitar.
Bass guitar, great. Anybody who recorded already an album? Okay, cool. That's great. Afterwards you have to promote it here. Come on stage and tell me what the album is. Well, the producer of that music that was just played, he used such a mixer to produce it and to tune it. And my wife Eva, she plays e-violin in a rock band. And in her band, they have a mixer that's that huge. And you can tune the speed, add feature effects, and you can scale the volume of each channel individually. And so the mixer is the power to control for music producers. And Plesk is the power to control for WebOps. It gives them the power to control their websites and web apps. And in this talk, you will learn about three things. First, what WebOps is. Second, why Docker technology is a game changer and how you can monetize it. And third, you get an outlook to the future of Plesk. Now, what is WebOps actually? To explain that, let's go first back to DevOps. And we could look up now what Wikipedia says, but honestly, reading text from PowerPoint slides, come on, that's boring. Now, let's describe it in pictures. Dr. Werner Vogels, I'm sure you all know him. He's the CTO of Amazon, and he said this legendary phrase back in 2006 about how things run at Amazon. And I think, from my point of view, that describes best the core principles of DevOps. He said, you build it, you run it. And so DevOps is primarily a culture of collaboration and communication between software developers, quality assurance, and IT operations. And there's often a target conflict between these different groups. Because software developers, they want to release changes frequently and introduce new features. Quality assurance, they want to make sure that there are no major bugs in each release. And IT operations, they want to keep everything stable. And every change is a risk. It could introduce new bugs, it could introduce new stability issues. And DevOps helps to work in a team with shared targets. And it follows the conceptual comms framework for the integration of development and operation groups, functional systems within an organization. And the acronym stands for culture, automation, lean management, measurement, sharing, and it leads to continuous rapid release cycle with strong early feedback. And we could talk now about hours about DevOps. We don't do that. Just DevOps is often about continuously delivering small changes without breaking shit with the help of automation. And based on a survey from RightScale this year, worldwide, the adoption of DevOps increased from 66% to 74%. And in big companies, it's even 81%, and some statistics speak about 88%. And I mentioned that Plesk is the perfect tool for WebOps, but what is WebOps then? WebOps is actually a subset of the larger DevOps movement, and it focuses especially on deployment, security, maintenance, and tuning of web-based applications and systems. And DevOps, and so does also WebOps, change the way how we think about infrastructure. By the way, if you want to have the definition, just check out the slides. They're on SlideShare now. You can just read it if you like. But as said, reading text from PowerPoint slides is boring, so let's skip it. And let's have a look why and how it changed how we look at infrastructure today. So the DevOps movement required a completely new way of managing applications. Developers, they think in applications. System administrators, they think in servers. And developers, they don't care even if the server runs. They care if their application is online. They care about their page response times. They care about the throughput of their site. And Docker changed the perspective from existing server-centric to application-centric. And it's probably the most talked about infrastructure technology. But how did Docker actually do that? Well, container technology isn't new. You all know WHD.usa, OpenVSet, LXC, or even Sun Solaris zones. But they all focus primarily on virtualizing a server, so dividing a big server into smaller virtualized servers. Mike Riolo explained yesterday in his keynote the difference between app containers and system containers. So Docker is different. You do not talk about servers anymore. You talk about apps, your apps. And you talk about anything that fits into a container can run everywhere. Thus, Docker solved a very important aspect. And the usage by developers of Docker has doubled from 13% to 27% in just 1 year. And further 35% plan the usage of Docker. And it's increasing fast. So why is that? In the past, developers coded their app and it worked fine on their machine. And then they deployed it on production and nothing worked fine anymore. Who of you knows that situation? I do know it really well. I had this very often. And with Docker, things are different because you can run and test your app locally on your laptop without having to install everything because it comes with the whole dependencies and with the whole configuration. And if it works fine, then it works also on other machines, like your production server, since it takes the whole configuration with it. No different operating systems anymore, no Java runtime missing, no wrong PHP versions, no required extensions or dependencies missing. So all the configuration is shipped with your app, and so it has everywhere the same environment, and that's frictionless. And I can tell you, developers, they love it. And so Docker provides a very cool possibility to developers. They can ship their app everywhere, on every hardware, without risk of breaking shit. And it's now easy to deploy even several versions in parallel, or even use a kind of staging mode, and let your customers choose which site they might like most. For example, you can have 2 different versions of your site, measure the conversion rate, and you choose for the best version, and you just get rid of the old version. And with the next major release of Plesk, which we call Plesk Onyx, and it will be released this October, you cannot only deploy Plesk as a Docker container directly from the official Docker registry, you can even run any Docker-based app on your Plesk-powered servers with a few clicks. Some very popular Docker apps, for example, are Redis, which is a very popular in-memory data store that's used for caching or for message queues or in-memory databases, or MongoDB, which is a widely used NoSQL database. And we go even one step further. With the upcoming Plesk release, we will provide you with the support of Git as source code management solution directly natively in Plesk. So you can create local Git repositories on your Plesk-powered servers to have version control and developers tools like ID integration at your fingertip. But even better, you can deploy your app or a website directly from github.com or Bitbucket, GitLab, or any other Git repository, and continuous delivery will be easier than ever before with Plesk. The Eclipse Foundation reported 2 years ago, in May 2014, that Git is now the most widely used source code management tool, with over 42% of developers reporting that they are primarily source control system. Last year, Stack Overflow made a research and said that Git has more than 69% already, and it's still growing fast. A lot of companies just changed recently to Git.
Yeah.
You agree? Right.
Yeah. Git's great. We're laughing about subversion, that people are still using it at that ratio. Why?
Right. Yeah, and at the end of this year, we will even support more development languages and frameworks out of the box than ever before. So we now integrated the support for Ruby, Ruby on Rails, Python, and Django directly in Plesk. And besides all these developer tools, we also improved our WordPress toolkit, which helps you to easily create and manage WordPress sites. And WordPress is meanwhile an absolutely must-have for hosters and cloud service providers. Jeff King from GoDaddy told you yesterday a bit about WordPress, but did you know that more than 26% of all websites worldwide are built with WordPress? And this number is actually continuously growing. And WordPress is by far the most popular way of creating websites. Based on all websites that were built within CMS, WordPress even reaches 60%. With Plesk, you can sell fantastic WordPress out-of-the-box experience to your customers. So just take any piece of hardware, virtualized, cloud, or bare metal, it doesn't matter, install Plesk, and sell WordPress hosting. And now think about, what is your USP? Why should a web pro buy from you? Use Plesk with its large ecosystem of add-ons and extensions to upsell directly during your checkout process and make more money. Or if you have a different target audience, define a developer hosting product based on Plesk with SSH access, Python support, Docker, and Git. And do you care about speed? Nothing easier than that. Plesk comes out of the box with HTTP 2, the latest version of the HTTP protocol, so you have to have it. And it promises acceleration of websites, especially for mobile usage. And I tried it for all of my websites, and I can tell you that all my websites improved by 10% the performance by just switching HTTP 2 on in Plesk. How cool is that? And now combine Plesk hosting with Cloudflare, CDN, and Nginx, which is directly available in Plesk. And do you care about security? Nothing easier than that. Plesk has a huge ecosystem of extensions for more security. For example, the Plesk firewall, automatic updates with a Plesk package upgrade manager, mod security, fail to ban, Cloudflare server shield, just to name a few. But there's one extension that I would like to highlight specifically, with it, which is the data grid VCTR, pronounced Victor. So today, I'm absolutely thrilled to announce that we launched Victor together with our friends from Data Grid Systems, Ross is somewhere here, as a Plesk extension. And what Victor does is, Victor continuously monitors your server and checks for vulnerabilities. And trust me, every server has vulnerabilities. So the best strategy is to use Data Grid Victor plus Plesk to gain transparency about the issues. And the next Plesk release will allow you to install updates automatically or on demand, and Victor tells you exactly which updates are critical and which not. And even more, in near future, Victor will even tell you if you have compatibility issues by upgrading or not, and if it's safe to upgrade. And that based on the experience of hundreds of thousands of servers worldwide. And do you care about scale? Nothing easier than that. We will release Plesk Hub in October, which allows you to automatically deploy web spaces to a pool of servers. So you can add as many servers as you like, and Plesk Hub will just distribute your customers or web spaces to these servers. Nothing easier than that. And there are tons of more things that I'm personally absolutely excited about that we will deliver with the next upcoming Plesk release. So here are just some bigger topics besides many, many small valuable improvements. If you cannot wait for the next release, try out our monthly releases. You can find them on our website. You can find them as Docker image from the official Docker registry. And this all and much more makes Plesk the leading WebOps platform and control panel to run, automate, and grow applications, websites, and hosting businesses. And besides this, that's not all. Maybe you noticed it already. We also launched a completely new website at Plesk.com. And we wouldn't be Plesk if we wouldn't have built the website with Plesk and our WordPress toolkit. So check it out. And besides that, I'm also happy to tell you that Plesk is now a standalone company. And with that decision, we're able to fully focus on making Plesk the best control panel for your websites and apps ever. And additionally, we provide from now on unlimited and free support for our retail customers and partners. Visit our new website at Plesk.com and get inspired. Or discuss with us and come by at booth 31 and just talk with us. And the important thing for you to remember is that Plesk is the power to control your app. Now download the latest version and start building. And why we do that? Turn up the volume and feel the power. Thank you for joining us.